My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. Very fascinating innings that we've seen there, only because it gives that score and it becomes much of a talking point. We'll just confirm what happened with the side that won the toss. In this case, Sunrisers Hyderabad decided to bat first. And at one stage, were looking as if they just about crawled to about 140. At another stage, they looked like if they had wickets in hand, it could have become 170, 180 even. But at the end, almost par, but I have a feeling that the expert panel here, Joy Bhattacharjya and Michael Vaughan, will feel that it's a pretty decent total. Let me go straight to Michael Vaughan. And how do you rate that total? Quite apart from the fact that it's what you predicted.
Yeah, I've won another one. That's the most surprising aspect. I think you can tell a confident side when you see a team like Sunrisers bat the way that they did. They just hung in there at the start. There was no fireworks. The power play, no huge amounts of boundary count, but with the likes of Warner, Bairstow, Williamson, Warner-Pandey, I think they knew the target was around 145, 150. I think they know on this wicket, with it playing so slowly, with the spinners coming into play, the seamers bowling those cutters, it's not an easy wicket to be striking the ball. And I think a confident team play the way that the Sunrisers do. I'm very interested to see the way that the Rajasthan Royals chase this down, because an unconfident team, a team that's lacking in confidence, I think they might go too hard too soon. And they may end up losing a few too early wickets. And then it gives Rashid Khan an absolute field day in that middle over period. I thought it was a really smart innings from the Sunrisers.
Yes, certainly was. And just a confirmation, my 11 Circle badge of honor, you saw it there. Nicely captioned for Michael Vaughan. But how did they actually get to that score that he reckoned they would have got to at the start of the innings? Power play, very quiet, 4.33, then increased it a little bit. But then that another quiet phase, if you see, between 11 and 15, going at under 7. And then came the genuine power play, or the big hitting towards the end at 12.4. Not quite what we saw from Virat Kohli and company, which was more drama than anything else. But Joy, it was almost a planned progression as far as Sunrisers were concerned.
To be honest with you, this is the best day's cricket in the best innings of cricket I've seen, because I think Rajasthan bowled beautifully. They bowled perfectly. They bowled to their strengths. Jofra going hard. They knew Jaydev would be hard to get away in the end, because the pitch is slowing up. He bowled very well. The spinners bowled well. Kartik Tyagi was excellent. There's not a bowler there who you can look at. Tewate gave a couple of loose balls, but that's bound to happen if you're a leggy. Shreyas Gopal bowled well. So all the bowlers bowled well. I'm just interested in wondering why Ben Stokes got a single over and didn't get another over. I just hope it's got nothing to do with fitness, but they bowled perfectly. They bowled as well as they could. And what was great about it was, on a pitch that was slow, Sunrisers sat back and absorbed the pressure They didn't lose their heads. They absorbed till they could finally, go on the attack. And I think it was a textbook. 35 runs of the last 2 overs. They would have thought if they get 20 in the last 2 overs, it's terrific, which is why that 145 became a 160. But this is great cricket. These are not the 200 kind of scores that you'll see, but this is two fine tactical games happening where teams are really trying to figure out each other. And it's a kind of cricket that it's smart cricket as well. That's great to see.
We'll come to both sides of it, but let me come to Michael first on the batting. We knew that it was going to be, or they were expecting something from Johnny Bairstow and David Warner. And despite not getting that explosion that we've seen in previous games, they played smart again. Bairstow knew that, Warner knew that Bairstow was gone, and a key role from Manish Pandey in the middle, striking at less than 100 early on, but then made up for it.
Yeah, Manish Pandey played a pure innings, because it was with skill, controlled calmness, striking some nice balls at times. Those 3-6s were at the crucial time when the Sunrisers started to just really accelerate into their gears. I like seeing smart cricket. I like seeing cricket that's just not all one way. The wickets sometimes, when they're flat, it's just crash bang wallop. Many players and teams can deliver that. On a pitch like we're seeing in Dubai now, where it's slow, the bowlers are in the game. I also like to see cricket where there's a fair balance between bat and ball. I think this produces that. And you really have to use your nous. You really have to use your cricket brain into realising how to play the innings, how to kind of get yourself started. It might be slow to start with, and then you accelerate with the conditions and start hitting the boundaries because you've got used to the pitch. I thought that was a really smart innings. And for Rajasthan Royal to surpass that score, 2 or 3 of the Royals are going to have to play similar innings. Very, very. I don't see it being a pitch that someone could come out and explode from ball one. I just don't see that. I may be wrong, but I see it as a pitch where you might have to give yourself 4 or 5 balls to get in, and then you start to go up in the gears once you've done so. I think we're in for an intriguing chase. And as I said at the halfway point, Rashid Khan will be licking his fingers. He'll be licking his fingers knowing he's going to bowl on this surface.
Yeah, 2 bowlers to talk about, but a quick stat I want to throw at both you gentlemen, and it's something that fascinates me. Remember, this is not Sharjah. It's a relatively big ground, and we've had more 6s than 4s hits. More 6s than 4s hit. 9 6s in the innings, and less than that was the number of boundaries. Probably, Joy, that says that they picked their moments, and when they picked their moments, they were able to time it well enough to go for 6.
No, absolutely. If you see Manish Pandey, and I think Manish Pandey hit 3 6s out there. All of them, he stepped down, went to the spinners, and went out there and whacked it. And if you see the other 6s, they were off genuine pace. I mean, Jofra, for whatever it's worth, is giving you enough on the ball for you to be able to give it momentum. And I think that's important on a pitch like this. Otherwise, to actually, if the ball doesn't come to you, either you've got to step out and hit it. Therefore, you're not going to see too many 4s. And what's going to happen, therefore, is, you see on a lot of grounds, ball coming in and the batsman just times it and strokes it for 4. That's difficult on this kind of pitch. That's not going to happen to you on this kind of pitch. Ball just rocketing off the bat of the straight drive. Here, you've got to power it out of the ground. And either the bowler gives you that power because he's really fast, or you've got to walk down the pitch and give it everything you have. So that's what it's going to be. And for somebody like Rashid Khan, that's exactly what he's thinking. That, if you need to score runs off me, you have to run at me. And there's nothing more difficult in the world than running at Rashid Khan. It's just the worst thing you can do in this.
Yeah, well, that evidence of that 6 against Jofra Archer, that one-handed shot from Williamson. But Michael, coming to Jofra Archer, how good has he been all season? I mean, if you look at the figures in isolation, you'll probably say, oh, it's just another day at the office. But the way he started set the tone for the entire innings.
Yeah, I mean, he's magnificent. I mean, you just look at that one occasion in Sharjah when he went for 46, but the rest of the games, he's been right on the money. His economy's strong. He's getting wickets. He's bowling with great pace. He's got good variations. He just looks like he's the bowler. I think the opposing teams are almost saying, just see him off. Just don't risk too much against Jofra Archer over his 4 overs. If we hit him for 25, we'll take that. But I just like to see that pace. I think we all love to see quick bowling at his best, particularly tall, quick bowlers that get that steep bounce. I mean, those bounces that are flying past the batsman's noses, their eyes, through past their neck, whether you're left hand, right hand, he's a joy to watch. I mean, we've had him here for a few years and obviously seen a lot of him. We're desperate to see that Jofra Archer that we see for 4 overs in T20 cricket ball at 148. We want to see it in Test cricket for about 12 to 15 overs every single day if he possibly can, because if he can deliver that in Test match cricket over 12 to 15 overs per day, he will be bowling teams out for fun going forward.
Yeah, I remember having this discussion with Michael Vaughan before he was sort of getting into that setup, saying that, don't worry, he's going to be in there. This was pre-World Cup. But, let's focus on that battle that we, again, previewed on My 11 Circle Presents Cricbuzz Live. It was Warner versus Jofra Archer. He had sort of got the better of him in England. Different circumstances here, but once again, that battle continued, Joy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, just the way he bowled at him. And remember, though, that the bowling analysis is actually quite, it doesn't tell you the real story. In the first 3 overs, in the first 18 balls, he gave Ajay just 6 runs. He went for 19 in his last over, one crazy Williamson shot. And in the last over, anything can happen because, your batsmen are just throwing their bat at everything. But look at that first spell, dot, coming in very fast into the body and not enough room. One of the things that Warner likes to do is free his arms, give himself some space. So give him space outside the off stump, he can hit it. Here, it was at his body and at a length that was either uncomfortable or purely short. And, he just didn't give him any chance. I mean, the shot that, Warner tried where he got his stumps cleaned out was a shot of desperation. It was a shot of a man who knows he just can't get off. He needs to do something different.
Now, the real question we're going to ask as we get close to that run chase is the big role going to be played by Rashid Khan. Both gentlemen have already mentioned it, Michael. But just like Jofra was up front for Hyderabad, Rashid Khan is going to be very, very key when the Rajasthan Royals come to chase. Look at his numbers so far, and it's often bowling at certain times, difficult times, consistent times really for him.
Yeah, well, he bowls mainly out of the power play, so the Sunrisers keep him up their sleeves for those periods of around, you can see there, he generally bowls his first over around 7 or 8, and then he just kind of manoeuvres himself to around the 16th, 17th over. And that's exactly what's going to happen today. If you look at the chase and think, right, 159 chase, if they play Rashid Khan well, they'll hit him for 25. So they're going to need 134 off 16 overs to win the game on a pitch that's slow. That's why I think the chase will be very, very difficult. They somehow need to hit Rashid Khan into the pockets. I mean, he's bowled 24 overs in this year's IPL. He's only been hit for 9 boundaries. So he's not a bowler that you can generally strike to the boundary. But can they work a way of hitting it into the pockets for more twos and try and get him to go for 6 or 7, get him for 25, 28, but don't lose too many wickets? The problem I have with this chase is that a panicking team, a team that's not playing with confidence, will think that they're going to have to destroy the power play to get ahead of the chase because Rashid Khan's coming on. And it might be that they go so hard in the power play that they lose too many wickets, and then the doom and gloom, it's gone. They somehow have to play very smart in the power play. If they can get to 35, 45, something like that, 1 wicket down, they've got a chance of winning the game. If they try and get to 60 in the power play, I think they might lose 2 or 3 wickets and it could be game over. They've got to make sure they've got wickets in hand and players in when Rashid Khan comes onto the bowl.
Joy, just to finish up on Rashid Khan, of course it's his brilliance, but how much of Rashid Khan's genius has been the skill that he imparts? How much is the reputation he comes onto the field with?
I think it's no longer reputation, because a lot of people come with big reputations on here. You see a lot of these guys and not all of them succeed. People have come with huge reputations and done nothing in the IPL. But I'm going to throw this question back at you, because I know you spent a lot of time with Rashid Khan, both in the CPL and I think last year in the IPL as well. You did quite a few interviews. What is so special about this man? What makes him so special?
Well, to me, honestly, as I said, from a layperson's perspective, just spending time with him, I must have gone out for dinner, 4 times in Trinidad this time, socially distanced, of course, with him and occasionally with Nabi. And it's just the mental fortitude of the man. He's very simple and he likes to have a laugh, but he's always talking cricket. He's always thinking. He was even looking at the menu going, no, this is not tomorrow's batting order that I'm going to feast on. This is actually the food I'm looking at. So he has a laugh at himself. He talks about such things, and his ability to come back. If he's gone 4 overs for 40, and I keep coming back to that when he got hit against at Mohali last season or 2 seasons ago, his ability to come back and say that, never mind, that was history. What I do tomorrow matters. And I think that's going to stand him in good stead, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's just got that presence that all great players have. They enjoy the big stage. I think he keeps it very simple. For someone that bowls a lot of tricks, I think his simplicity is immense. He bowls to hit the stumps. He bowls mainly googlies to the right-handers with the on one that spins away, but not too many. He bowls into the surface. He doesn't bowl too full. And he's basically saying to the batters, you're going to have to take the risk. He doesn't bowl many really bad balls. So he's saying to the batsman, you're going to have to dance down, or you're going to have to try and take the risk. You're going to have to play the big lap slug or the big sweep. And if you miss, I'll hit. Very, very simple game plan. He bowls it very quickly. And I just think on this kind of surface, he could have a real day out. If he gets it right, and Rajasthan, for instance, if he comes on the ball in the 8th and the rate's already got to the likes of 10 or 11s, I think he'll have a field day. They've somehow got to try. It's so difficult when you're chasing this kind of total. Get out the traps without losing wickets, and they have to have players in when he comes on. If they've got new batsmen in when he comes on, game over.
The strategy has been laid out by Michael Vaughan. I'm just going to get one more word out of both you gentlemen before we wrap up. Which color are you leaning towards as far as the result is concerned? I'm going orange for the moment. Joy?
I have to say it's orange advantage. The only thing I'd say is their 4th and 5th bowler, Rajasthan will be discussing in their dressing room saying, we're going to go after those. They're going to go after whether it's Abhishek or Vijay Shankar or whoever it is that's going to bowl, or Kane Williamson. We are going to hit him. Those 4 overs we need 40 runs out of, because they're going to tell themselves that, and maybe Sandeep Sharma, if you bat out of the crease to him and just get him off his lengths. Those are the 2 guys you target, because you're not going to get much out of Rashid. Don't take your chances against Rashid. Target a couple of bowlers and hit them out the attack.
Michael,
Oh,
I'm going to throw one more fact at you before I get that one word. Stokes is out opening the batting with Josh Butler.
Is that right? Wow. Well, good luck, Ben. He's just arrived from New Zealand. Now he's opening the batting. I guess that's left hand, right hand. I don't know if he's ever done it in T20. I know these two opened in Test match cricket just a couple of months ago in the second innings against the West Indies when England needed quick runs. So maybe they've seen something that there was a combination that they liked. I'm going orange all the way. I think it's going to be a very difficult chase. I hope I'm wrong. But I just think the orange team is just going to have too much.
Yeah, I think it's one of those head versus heart. We're all saying orange, but we're all feeling for the men in pink, and that Stokes-Butler combination. It could just be a rabbit out of the hat. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Joy. We'll see all of you in the 10th over with Cricbuzz Combox. This has been yet another entertaining conversation on My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live.